So we're going to go through how to do a remote show live on WXIN. There is going to involve you connecting to the studio remotely. If you can do a Zoom call, then you'll be able to do a show. It's really not too hard. Um, there's two ways that you can remote in. We're going to show you today how to use Chrome Remote Desktop. There's also an option to use AnyDesk. The nice thing about Chrome Remote Desktop is that you don't need to install anything special other than the Chrome web browser you may already have on your machine. This will work for Mac, PC, and Linux. So what I have here is an empty browser window. I'm using incognito mode just because I'm logged in as myself. Another account that I want to have open in the background. One of the important things is you're definitely going to need a good pair of headphones and a decent microphone for this to work. Right now I'm using a wireless lavalier mic. You can use a sort of a gaming headset or any type of decent microphone. Built-in laptop mic's probably not going to cut it. So the first step to doing the show is I'm going to go ahead and punch in Chrome Remote Desktop. Right here you see the result. I'm just going to use remote access. I'm going to click there, and then I'm going to log in. So I'm going to click over here. I'm going to go ahead and sign myself out of this other account. I'm going to log into the account for the station. The password and PIN number, I will have that in a separate email because this video is going to be public. Okay. DMC WXIN on air 2. That is the Megaseg computer. So when you log into this, it'll be just as if you were in the studio working the Megaseg computer. If you play something on that desktop, if you go ahead and change things with the Megaseg, those are going out live on the station. So you just go ahead and click here. It's going to ask for a PIN number. This will be in the email as well for the access. Please don't give this out to anybody because that's kind of how we get in and keep it secure. All right, so now you're seeing the studio. Okay, so we push this out of the way. It's automatically going to scale the size of your window. So if you've got a bigger monitor, you'll have a little more room to work. So basically right now I can make changes to what's on the air. Say I want to put that song up next. Drag that over, just as if you were doing a show. And we'll do a separate video on how Megaseg works. Now, the other thing we want to do is be able to get our sound from the remote location in, especially if we're doing a talk show or I want to do my opens and closes. So that's where we're going to use a service called Streamyard. And I'll show you real quickly how that's set up. So Streamyard is meant for doing podcasting. So we're not going to use all the features available within Streamyard. I'm going to minimize this. Just go over here. So you go to StreamYard.com, you get this screen right here. Now I'm going to create a broadcast. If you don't see any of them here, you make a new one. As long as you don't attempt to stream or record with this, it'll you can reuse that same link, reuse the same link that you give to guests and whatnot. So we're just going to skip record only. We're just going to call this WXIN live. And I'm going to hit create broadcast. It's going to open this up. Now, an important thing to remember is as soon as you connect and you turn your microphone on and you're in the session, I'll show you how to add someone to the session. It's live on the air. So you just have to be aware of that. So between songs, you got to either mute yourself on the remote side. This is going to give us the full control window in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Enter Broadcast Studio. All right. So I can add myself to the stream. So now it's basically what the audio getting sent into this session is from the studio. Now what I need to do over here is this button that says Invite. I click there. Copy that to clipboard. That's going to be the link for you to connect. You give that link to all of your guests. You can have up to, I believe, 10 people in the session at a time. Then someone has to get removed in order for someone else to come in. All right, you can email it to yourself, send it in Messenger. Now, one of the things you want to do with remote desktop is this little button right here. You hit that. And over here, you hit enable clipboard synchronization and hit allow. Okay. Now, when I go over here, hit invite, copy to clipboard, it'll be on my local computer. So I can now just pull up a browser. Hold this back here. And I'm going to go ahead and paste. Tells me I'm entering. This is what your guest will see. This is what you're going to see. This is on your local computer now. All right. So I'm going to my settings here, and I'll tell it. The camera's not important because we're not going to use any of that video. The audio is. So this is where I pick my microphone. You can have another device that's just sending music in. So if you want to play remotely, you can do that as well. I'm going to leave the echo cancellation on. You may want to turn that off to get a little bit better sound. All right. So we're all set there. I'm just going to mute myself for now. I'm going to hit Enter Broadcast Studio. You'll notice now you can hear the music coming through. So that's what's going out over the air right now. Now, so I don't go insane trying to do this. I'm just going to mute the studio side. And I've also muted myself in the session so that way we don't get, I'm not going out over the air while I'm doing this demo. So as your guests connect, you'll see boxes pop up down here. To bring them into the session, you hit Add to Stream. And they'll show up here. And the cool thing is you can see the other people. So if you want to give hand signals or whatever, and you want to hear what the studio is putting out, is unmute here. I chose to mute myself, so I can't unmute there. But that's basically in the session right now. There's all sorts of things you can do with banners and names, and there is a way of getting this video out to the station Twitch, which we're not going to go into now. But basically, once this is in here and everybody's unmuted, they'll be coming out over the air. You can just minimize this, bring up Megaseg, do your show. There we go, bring it up. You can build your pauses into here so that this automatically pauses. We can talk and then come back in. And while the music's playing and I don't want to be on the air, talking over the music, I can just go into my session here, which, there we go, this is what the remote side sees, and I'm muted here. So that's the basics of how to set up StreamYard. If you have any questions, let me know, and we definitely can set up a time to show you guys how to do some more cool things with it. But that's how you'll be able to go live on the station from home during your normal time slot.